In this video, we're going to talk about Spawn's violent war for the throne. Alrighty then, this is a full comic book story review of King Spawn, issues number 25 to 30, brought to you by Rated Comics. Now, before we get into the content, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry, check out RatedComics.com. Also, timestamps will be in description if you wish to go from issue to issue. And lastly, if you're liking the content we're throwing up so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to Rated Comics YouTube channel. But with all that being said, let's get into the content.
So before we get into the issue, previously in King Spawn, the Exodus Foundation's secret laboratory has been shut down by Spawn. Unfortunately, a visit by Clown means Owl's problems are just starting. And before we go any further into the content, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy, Thomas Bridges Talik84. He's been a long time supporter of us on Whatnot. When we started Whatnot, we haven't been doing Whatnot for a while, but give us a follow on Whatnot. In about a month or two, we will get back to it. And also, if you shoot us a DM and you got some drip and you're a top G supporter of the Rated Comics YouTube channel, which all of you are by liking and subscribing to this channel, hey, you know what? You guys deserve a shout out too. So this is our thanks to you. Now let's get back into the content. So as Spawn and Clown do each other a stare down, Clown is like, come on, you're not just gonna stare me down, are you? Surely you've got something to say. Well, Spawn does, but Spawn's not willing to give this mortal enemy a single word of his acknowledgement. He'll engage when he's ready. So the two of them have gone through all this already. And this is going back to Spawn issue number 343. Spawn was disinterested before, and he's disinterested now. And what this is pertaining to is Clown wants the throne of hell, but Calicioso in the previous issues is in hell, and he's claiming that throne, or he wants to claim that throne. But before he can claim that throne, he has to make allies and start a whole war, and it's all out. But before Caw can claim that throne, Clown wants it for himself. So Clown tells Spawn, we're wasting time here. Every second we're on Earth, Calicioso is another step closer to Hell's throne. And Spawn just continues to stare him down like, I don't give a damn. So Clown's like, okay, I need to incentivize you, so I guess I'm gonna have to try a different tack on you. Your friends over there, tell them to leave. And Spawn just looks at him like, I'm staring you down some more, bro. So Clown tells him, okay, they'll be the first ones I hurt. That's a promise, not a threat. The first to react is Yoku with guttural noises filling the night air. And then she tells Clown, I'll serve no one. And Twitch is like, Terry, you gotta control her. So Cyan is the one that reacts second. Say the word, Al, we've got your back. And Clown is like, come on now, this can't be your vaunted army you've been putting together, is it? Cagliostro, you understand, will slaughter them the moment he lays eyes on them. I don't give a shit what happens to them, but you might. So your next move is on you, Simmons, says Clown. So Yoku charges forward and Clown's like, let me give you a little push. And so with a casual gesture of his hand, Clown engulfs them all in a cocoon of ionic shockwaves, paralyzing each of them while vibrating their bodies so they feel like they're about to explode, blanketing them in a searing, blinding light. They just can't take it no more. They're in pain, and Clown's enjoying it. I know how much you despise the light, Simmons, how much it hurts. That seed of vampire blood that's in you will be your downfall someday, but for now, I'll make someone else my example. So Clown locks his eyes on Yoku as he increases her vibrational frequency higher and higher, and her nose is starting to bleed until she literally explodes and splats all over the place. And Cyan could just be like, yo man, she's splatting worse than diarrhea on a Sunday. But anyways, now tell your ducks to get the fuck out the way. Yoku was half dead already, says Clown. The next one will be a fully human, so don't mess with me. That's what happens when you mess around to find out, right? So Spawn knows he has no choice but to follow Clown's orders. He tells them all to go. Unable to process what they've all just witnessed, they all walk away in shock. So Twitch just tells them like, what, we can't just leave him here? That's it, we just go? Yes, says Terry. They'll be long gone by the time you go back there anyway. Now be good cops and nail Exodus to the cross. Well, what about you two, says Sam. We'll be fine, says Terry. And Sam hands Cyan a gun and he tosses it to her, but she's confused as to why does Sam think I need a gun? So Terry tells Cyan, take my hand, we're getting you out of here. And Cyan's like, I can't, but I'm not leaving Al back there. I can't do it. And Terry's like, we don't have a choice. Owl and Clown travel in the shadows. They can go anywhere and we can't keep up with that. And Cyan's like, he killed my best friend. Clown killed Yoku. I don't care where he goes. So Terry tells Cyan, I'm with you, but I promise, Owl has a plan. It's why he sent us away. If he needed help, he would have let us know that he needed help to deal with the Clown. I know where to find some others who are helping Clown. We can squeeze them for info. And they're all human. And Cyan has that smirk in her face like, aw crap, it's about to go down. Let's go, let it do. So back to where the real party's at, and we see Yoku splashes all over the floor. Clown tells Spawn it seems like you've been needing more help these days. That's not the big tough guy Al Simmons I used to know. You used to always like to fly solo. What happened? Did things change? Though it's curious why you haven't bothered to ask about my newly reformed transformation. Why I'm not that dwarfish pain in the ass like I used to be, and that's that pain in the ass I used to like to torture you. And Spawn gets up and it's like, it's because I just don't give a damn. Clown will always be one thing to Spawn, and only one thing, and that is it. And that's the person who murdered his wife, as Spawn does nothing but sees red at this point. The sight of Clown brings out the worst in him. Kind of like Starbucks pickup line when I do a mobile app order on a Monday morning. It brings out the worst in me. I'm joking around. But jokes aside, nothing else matters to Spawn. Until he avenges her death, he'll never breathe peacefully again. Instead, he'll be filled with that hatred so focused that very little else will matter. And the worst part is, Owl knows he's better than that. That humanity needs his actions to be calm, calculating, and decisive. With so many warriors of heaven and hell strewn across the globe, the world needs Spawn to protect billions of souls, not just the one closest to his heart. But right now, he is failing in that task as he throws his full arsenal of his symbiote at his most despised enemy. Chains, razor tip, cape, spikes, like a hurricane, they attack. Clown, though, seems unfettered by it. In fact, he's almost calm. And Clown's like, you think my changes are merely physical? That mistake could get you hurt one day. I mean, real bad. Who you think invented your costume? Al says. Clown, it was me. I was there at the start. So was Cog. That's why I'm telling you that he can't reach the throne first. So, and then Clown pulls it back and lets him know what kind of power he's made of. Take your hate for me and churn it off. So Clown tells you could come back for me after we stop Cagliostro, because you're not the only one that controls your symbiote, Spawn. So Clown's powers, like some kind of ancient mummy, Spawn's body is tightly wrapped by his own cape, then reinforced by his own chains. And Clown's like, I could suffocate you right now, but then you wouldn't be much use to me. Boom! I still need you to return us back to hell. And this is just one of those like threatening punches, like I'm gonna put you back in line, alright? You see, you want me on that throne, Simmons, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't care about Earth. But Cogs, he wants to dominate your planet. He wants to rule it. But suddenly, from behind, a voice comes in. Like I said, I don't give a shit. I only care about one thing. That's to see you suffer. As he puts his necroplasmic energy around Clown, Clown goes to the ground. Like Wanda suffered, I want to see you suffer too, says Al. As he utters her name, a trigger releases inside of him, unleashing a fury that's been bottled up for far too long. Now, those emotions have their target to focus on, and Spawn just goes to work on him. Haymaker after haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. Yo, if you watch King Spawn issue number 3, this is exactly what he did to Billy Kincaid, where he just beat him up to like Billy Kincaid pudding and sludge. But Clown, he's a lot tougher than that with his recent transformation, which was explained in, I believe, Gunslinger Spawn 4, 5, or 6, which we did cover that on this channel. So like a tired boxer, Spawn tries to rally more stamina. So does his opponent. Oh, the throne. It'll augment his power, says Clown. Do you get that? Cog will be near invincible. He'll use that to lord over your planet. So Spawn gets up like, so I should just let you sit on the throne instead? That's some bullshit. Yes, says Clown, because believe it or not, I've got more enemies I hate more than you, and none of them live on this planet. The traitors in hell, I'll be busy wiping them out for decades. Earth, it's nothing to me, says Clown. So Clown gives Spawn an ultimatum. You're going to have to choose who's a bigger danger to those you care about. Is it me or is it Cog? Because if it's Clown, he doesn't give a damn about Earth, but if it's Cog, Cog is gonna be more powerful or more imminent, and definitely damn near invincible. So yes, if I get the throne's power in time, I'll be back for you, says Clown. We're not done here, but you know what? That could be decades from now. Cog will be way more immediate. For me, it'll be decades from now. So you'll have time to prepare for that. Right now though, Cog is your more imminent threat. Spawn goes face to face to Clown in a power move and tells him, I owe you nothing. You're on your own, as he walks away and disappears into the shadow. Because Clown, you just can't trust him, but at the same time, should Spawn trust Clown? Given the scenario, given the context here, what do you guys think below? Comment below, let me know. So previously on King Spawn, Spawn decides he needs to find a way into hell. One that will allow him to proceed unnoticed, because in the previous issue of King Spawn, Clown confronted Spawn asking for his help because he wanted Spawn's help to take, the throne of hell and not let Sin, formerly known as Cagliostro, to take over the throne because Clown is the lesser of the evil. But I think Spawn has to find a way to not let Clown take the throne and not let Sin take the throne, as well as, is he going to take the throne or not going to take the throne? I don't know how this plot's going to play out. But Spawn gets his arsenal ready, going military, Rambo, Spawn, Hell Spawn style, because it's time to scare the shit out of some people. So he crosses the city of New York, heading to its outskirts with one wish on his mind. He prays that they try to resist. He wants that smoke. He needs that smoke, and he's looking for that smoke, patiently awaiting to go ham. It's 10:52 p.m. and he waits until 2:08 a.m. He's waited long enough. He jumps down, superhero, anti-hero landing, Deadpool style. He gets his gun out, cocks it back. He knows his target is now alone. He goes to the door, makes an entryway. Though he has prepared himself in case he miscalculated how complex the security measures would be, bringing enough of an arsenal to react to any unexpected surprises. But frustratingly, he hadn't planned for this result because the whole damn place is completely empty. Like they knew he was coming, like they wanted him to send a message like, yeah bruh, we are one step ahead of you. So in Manhattan, New York, the city is in the middle of a hot summer. It ain't on one of those hot girl summers, or maybe it is, but the patrons, we don't care how hot it is, they're going out clubbing, going up in the club. So while others like Al Simmons are in the process of sending his own messages, going aisle by aisle, letting the people know that he means business because he's not about to be tricked a second time. So down the hall in his office, the club's boss, Jimmy Cabrera, kept getting interrupted by strange noises outside. He told his employees he didn't want to be disturbed, so he went to shut down the annoyance. And when he sees Al Simmons, like, nah, bro, nah. Al's presence, he knew, meant things were about to get ugly and fugly. Al Simmons is like, hello, Jimmy, I'm looking for the visage. And I don't know what the visage is, but outside, reinforcements pull up, and I hope we find out what the visage is all about later. But unfortunately for Jimmy, nah, it's too late. Spawn already got to him, decapitated, and Spawn emerges from the darkness, and none of them stand a freaking chance with Spawn. He's pissed, and he's on a mission. So Spawn's legend will grow this night, as those living in the shadows will recount how he crisscrossed the city, leaving in his wake the remains of his interrogations. People are hung, people are cut in half. He spares nobody. Vampires, half-breeds, they all gonna get the smoke. And I like how this sign is like, please do not park here, but he gets parked in his back like that. That's kind of funny, but it's kind of dark at the same time. Spawn walks away. So by the second night, everyone's running scared. Some convinced they only needed to go deeper in the shadows for protection, but they forgot that somehow Spawn, he's hunting them. He grows stronger as the darkness gets blacker. The visage, says Spawn, as he emerges from the darkness. Where is she? Well, long ago he learned he could travel in the shadows, literally moving anywhere he wanted. And Spawn goes looking for the visage, making the world his own sandbox. But he chose not to hide this time, wanting his enemies to know he could be anywhere at any time. Upon his entrance to this destination, his cape, his powers go limp, because our boy's in the dead zone. So he's thankful for this man-made weapons, because even though he has no powers right now, he's going back to military roots. Come on in, Simmons, says the visage. I've been expecting you though. I'm sure you already knew that given your recent inquiries, this place is a dead zone, isn't it, says Spawn. Oh, it is. Well, I didn't know this existed. It's okay, there's plenty more secrets you're not aware of, says the visage. But the answer I'm wondering about is, why are you bothering me? Well, Spawn says, Hellstone, it's about to get occupied, and whoever sits on it will send ripples everywhere. And what? You think somehow we care? You tell me, says Spawn. Look, our job, my mission, is to observe, nothing else. But your side, hell, heaven, you think you're all so important? You'll be around forever. That was never our plan for them or their mother. You're all replaceable. So either leave or do your worst. I'm getting bored of this stuff. And stop standing there like a damn statue. Do your worst. No, says Spawn. Why not, says the Visage. This place is sacred. We both know my guns won't work here, don't we? Well, says the Visage. Wouldn't be the first time your kind desecrated these spots. Look, I need a favor, says Spawn. Kick it down my door and hunting me down with your paramilitary gear? That's how you ask for favors? Spawn's like, because time matters. You don't have anything to do with anything. I'm looking for a shortcut, a way to cut off Cagliostro before he grabs the throne of hell. You just sit there, do whatever, give me the access, I'll do all the work. He lays down his gifts. They're tokens taken from his enemies, heaven, hell, vampires, and Mother Nature. So, says a Visage, you're an outcast, are you? An orphan, hated by all. That can be a very lonely place. Too late for that, says Spawn. Don't move. I want to feel your true self. So as she lays a gentle hand on his chest, she sees many visions of his heroic persona. Though this layer is actually a symbiote that's become a permanent part of his being, the next layer is the illusion, the facade of the man he once was. A cruel delusion, giving him hope that he's still human, until finally she uncovers where he actually is, the discards of a soul, both physically and mentally scarred forever. So she asks him, did they do that to you? They've done this to thousands of us, says Spawn. What was your crime? I stopped caring about others. And he's talking about Wanda. So this galaxy, as a Visage, has always acted so irrational, especially your heaven and hell, both using whatever they please, sometimes for sport or for collateral damage. What they're doing isn't even unique, but my masters, they have just one goal: to make sure infinity exists. Everything else disinterests them. But I'm curious, who would you forget to care for? Someone who loved me. I took that for granted. Then they killed her. He's talking about Wanda and the Violet, how he killed Wanda. And you wanted revenge? I did for a time, but not anymore, says Al. Then what is it that you want? To stop them, all of them, dead in their tracks, so another person will never have to feel the guilt I carry, because in the end, her death was ultimately my fault. So if your masters allow evil to exist, that's the one thing that'll snuff out all of our existence, and it'll mess up your infinity, your purpose, that you want to keep it that way. Okay, says the Visage, now hold out your hand. We've remained neutral forever. That won't change. And for those who are against evil and are too weak to conquer them, we don't care. If they can't survive, that's their fate. So you want to battle hell? Bruh, that's your choice. This will take you to hell, the dark side of it. And once you leave my sight, I'll forget about you. You're irrelevant to us. So if you go, I don't control where you land, Spawn, and there's no way of ever bringing you back. And that's the end of King Spawn, issue number 23, Spawn's one-way ticket to hell, to stop Cagliostro, aka Sin, and Clown from taking over the throne of hell. And who knows how this is going to play out. Now, one thing that's confusing to me is I know King Spawn's storyline takes place in the future of Spawn, and in the previous issue of Spawn, Spawn and the Scorch aren't in hell. So I wonder if this is somehow tying to Spawn when they infiltrated hell to stop Cagliostro from taking over the throne and making sure Cataclysm still stays there. I don't know, but as a standalone issue, this is an intense and powerful issue. This is one of my favorites. That's just my personal opinion. So previously in King Spawn, Spawn makes a daily decision in an attempt to sneak into hell. And in the previous issue, he was told by the Visage that there's no way of ever bringing him back once he entered that portal. So did the Visage gaze into Spawn's future, or was she simply stating a fact? Who knows, because she is one seriously mind-freaking Spawn, you know? And knowing that she does, that no one has ever passed the test of purification. Though those few who've witnessed this process have never called it a test, because as Spawn descends further and further into hell, they know it's actually a punishment. And I don't know if this point if he's descending, but I think he's just traveling through that portal. But he has many doubts that comes into his mind, and one of the doubts is, why did hell seek him so much? And he has all this regret looping of insanity inside of him. So why did hell chose Al to become Spawn? It begins with Al Simmons asking himself the most important question: why him? Of the billions walking the earth, why was he singled out? He knows he had a rage inside of him from a young age, a rage his father taught him on a constant basis of abuse, smacking him around. And as that rage grew, it attracted the notice of both the authorities and lawless. You thought joining the military was your way out, Spawn? It probably was, because because he had to channel that anger. But instead, his anger flourished. He saw many of his friends killed. Over and over and over, he lived that side of death on his way back from the army. But to help bury that ugliness inside of him, he had to find love, a glimmer of beauty, someone to love, and that someone was Wanda. A love that he hoped would last a lifetime. And for a time, it did bury that anger, but his true nature couldn't stay hidden as he's going through that portal. It had to come out. Spawn descends, and that rage began to come out. But these flashbacks show that Wanda tried to suppress that rage. She did everything she could to put that rage back in its cage. That kind of rhymed, but she couldn't. Because guess what? Al's father taught him too well. Old habits are those what they are. Old habits, he learned them. They're ingrained in him. In all those years, he watched his mother get abused, doing nothing. Nothing. Just sitting idly by as a kid, going from sadness to anger. And it taught him how to be a monster. No matter how many tears his mother cried out until she gave up on Al Simmons ever being her savior. That's why Al left. Wasn't it? Because he knew he'll become a monster too one day. No matter how hard he tried to mask it. I mean, why do you think the military made him a trained killer? It's because the monsters were too valuable to him. That monster inside of Al was too valuable. Because that monster inside of Al came out so naturally. Jason Wynn's only regret was he couldn't find more like Al. That's what made him so special. So good at it. And all this is going through his head as Spawn is going through this portal into hell. That's why hell recruited him. They knew that if they took the one thing that mattered in his life, he'll be all theirs. And once they own him, the only thing left to do was to rid him of that past, Wanda. That way, the monster can fully take over. Ain't no beauty, all of it's just beast. And guess what? Now they return his soul to canvas and its ugliness that it's always been. That's why he was chosen. Hell needed another human. Hell needed another Hellspawn. One whose heart was so black that they thrive in the darkness. Al goes into another portal as he delves into darkness, delving and delving and delving. As we look into this darkness right here, I like to take this time to say, hey, if you're liking the content so far, like and subscribe to Rated Comics YouTube channel. And also don't forget to check out the links in description, as well as check out RatedComics.com in case you want to add some really cool limited print Rated Comics exclusives to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, let's get back into the darkness. Well, the darkness of this content, King Spawn issue number 27, right? But Al Simmons has learned thousands of things thrive in the blackness of hell. He lands, these tentacles come out and they wrap around him, toying with him, but in a creepy, eerie kind of way. And then this voice tells him, your kind shouldn't be here. This space belongs to the forbidden. Symbiotes were banned long ago. Why have you broken the treaty? Because you know we must terminate you now. Hell's throne, says Spawn. Point me in this direction, I'll be gone. Is this a trick, says the monster. This is the fifth realm. The throne is in the third, and there's no bridge between the two. Your kind burnt it, remember? Well, Spawn wills himself to stand tall as this creature oozes forward to him. That smell, you're not pure, you're a half-breed. How do I get out of here, says Spawn. Oh, you can't. If I die here, so will you. Your language is not from hell, is it? You're some type of human, aren't you? We heard Malboja was using your kind. Please, I need to know why he chose you. I don't care what you want, says Al. Of course you do, human. Caring is your species' greatest flaw. Wait, one serious kind of mind F right here, but you know what? That's why you want the throne, isn't it? You think you can protect others. Spawn's mind explodes. Another flashback of his mom getting abused by his father, him standing idly by doing nothing. How? You couldn't even protect your own circle, says the monster. So of course, your cloak is red, a symbol of the blood you spilled. But we might not need to destroy you if that's your nature, says the creature. We may yet be able to coexist, but you must prove yourself by crossing the forbidden lands alone. And if I can make it, says Al, you'll be the first, as these spiders and bugs just crawl up to him. But we know we've not seen a creature drenched so deeply in your color. There must also be, like your cloak, a red hot rage burning inside of you, says the monster, that we can use, says Spawn. I don't know about all that. The throne, can you guide me to, as Spawn just lets it happen. And we all know Spawn's letting it happen because, well, he's letting it happen for a reason, and these bugs just kind of pierce into the skin. And this creature tells him, no, you do that to yourself. True creatures of the dark know how to navigate it. You want to be and move amongst us monsters? Show us you can be one. Imagine how rare you were to hell. So broken, so capable of violence, so obedient, all in the same body. You must have been magnificent in your prime, but you're human, and that will always be your downfall. We don't care about nothing down here. Malboja never understood that, but we did. So you want our help? Let the insects blind you, burrow into your mind, and show the only path to your survival is through darkness. Raise your hand. What do you see? Says the creature. Nothing, says Spawn. And guess what? His greatest clapback ever happens right now. And neither will you. One step forward was all it took, and these razor-tipped spikes impale the creature's head. That's it, says Spawn. Scream! Let the pain out. Don't fight the shit. Just let it happen. Let them know I'm here and what I've done to you. And I hope they all come so I can show them that I'll survive, because like them, I'm a monster. And I've been one for a long time. As Spawn makes his way to hell, because that throne of hell is beckoning, and Al, it seemed like he was facing his greatest fear at that moment, but nah, bruh. Spawn, he got that smoke, because he's looking for that smoke. And guess what, YouTube? I might be saying about that smoke for a long time on this channel, so get used to it if you're subscribing, alright? With all that being said, that's the end of King Spawn issue number 27. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. Now, as we get closer to Spawn issue number 350, and we see how the events of Spawn issue number 350, King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and the Scorch, which we all covered on this channel, how they all tie together into that event and how it goes forward in the story, well, we got to see how this all comes together first. So Spawn's like, he doesn't know how long it's been as he's dragging something by his chain. Though he hates that it took him so long to drop whoever it was, he should have known he tried to grow, because they're descendants of the Violator, whoever he took down, but he got what he needed. And whatever that thing was, it got what it deserved. And that thing is fugly and huge. I mean, that is like behemoth, god size, maybe not bigger than that, but just huge. I mean, Spawn clearly took this brother down. But Spawn only gave a shit about one thing, and that's getting to the 5th realm of hell, because he needs that throne, or he wants to figure out who is going to take over that throne. He can't let Sin have it, he can't let the Violator have it, and Spawn says he doesn't want it, but will things change? But you know what? He's not going to be dying on this forbidden land. And after all these years, he's not even sure if he can die anymore. And guess what? It's not his problem, it's going to be their problem, whoever he has to face. But first, he needs to deal with what is called a cleansing bush. And this cleansing bush, it's said that it'll strip you clean as you move, because it says it feels like an endless forest with no way out. And this cleansing bush is definitely cleaning and scratching all over Spawn's face as he's drawing blood, necroplasm, blood. And one thing that Spawn learned is everything in hell just wants to feed off of something else. So he lets it, only to a point. Just enough necroplasm to satisfy it, but not all of it. Because once you throw blood in the water, it attracts sharks. And some other, shark with wings comes landing down, superhero landing style, even though he's not no damn superhero. But he tells Spawn, that's a field lord you pull. No one has ever killed their kind. He got my way, says Spawn, so you want some of the smoke too, or what? You've broken our laws, those that break our laws. And he does his power blast on Spawn that puts him to the ground hard. And he tells Spawn, those who break our laws must be punished. And his second jolt, as he lifts Spawn in the air and slams to the ground, hurts worse than the first time. Because if you kill the Lord, we can't let you pass. You're too dangerous. As he gets up in Spawn's face and his eyes glow more red and darker and grim. But guess what? He had no idea how true those words were, because either he forgotten or he was never taught that hell spawns are part human. But this creature, now that Spawn bites his neck, he forgot one thing. Hell spawns are also part vampire, and like vampires, they need to feed. Why? Because we hungry like that. Sorry, man, I need some tacos or something. But speaking of tacos, Spawn got a vampire taco right there. No lettuce needed, just the salsa and blood. But everything Spawn had to do was wasting time, because it allowed Sin to get closer to the throne, or maybe Clown. But that's why Spawn needed to show him. He needed to take that time to scare them, to let them know that he was a beast, and he was what they would be afraid of, not the other way around. Spawn's not going to be afraid of them. They are going to be afraid of Spawn. And Spawn wished that the Scorch team was a little bit stronger, otherwise he wouldn't have to do this journey on his own, this terrifying journey. But you know what? He don't know if the Scorch will ever be ready, because after a few more hours, he sees them, and they can also see him, but he don't have time for no more delays. But he walks through them with the Field Lord and his other brother to try to take on Spawn, because he wanted the smoke and he got that heat, baby. But the thing that Spawn knows is back when he was running Black Ops for Win, he learned that if he cut off the head of their leader, the rest will fall. And these guys know that Spawn took out their leader, so no matter what, they ain't trying to take on Spawn, because they know Spawn is capable of killing them if he was capable of killing their leader, as proof of there right there. So they part ways like Moses did with the Red Sea. Though it wasn't why Spawn brought the Field Lords and the Carcass and the other Carcass that just added to it, he continued his journey, finally reaching the River of Souls. Everything in hell seems to be given some grandiose name, as these people, these souls, these lost souls in the River of Souls, they tell Spawn, turn back, your path is doomed. We all died before you, each of us failed. So Spawn asked the River of Souls, the bridge to the other realms, is it this direction? None have answered that. No one has made it across. Be afraid of the giant shadows, they said. The Field Lord said the same thing before Spawn took him out. As the days passed, Spawn wondered if Clown might get to Sin and the throne before him, or maybe Sin got to the throne already. The collision between those two might prevent anyone else from stopping their power grab. It's why Spawn has to endure this, no matter the odds, even across razor-sharp terrain and the miles-long trail of blood left behind it. A trail that Spawn hopes would attract the giant shadow, and it does. And Spawn hopes that'll be the last test he needs to pass, because this bro looks mean, and he looks vicious, and he looks like, well, maybe he does want that smoke. But then again, if not, Spawn will go through more of it, because if this guy is not the last test, Spawn has to endure it, because Spawn will cross the path. And Spawn will do what is needed because he's prepared. But before he kills him, the Field Lord said it would come to this. But Spawn said he didn't think the Field Lord knew that he'll be his way out of here, because what Spawn does next is he hurls all 6 ton of that Field Lord to the giant shadow monster. Because, as Spawn said before, everything in hell feeds off of something. Now he's free to walk alone, as this guy just goes to work, and this guy gets to grub it like a Las Vegas buffet on this Field Lord, because no matter how long Spawn's walk may be, he's gonna do it. And that is the end of King Spawn issue number 28. Yo, what you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other Rated Comic exclusives to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. We begin this issue exactly where we left off in King Spawn 28, where Spawn is in pursuit of the throne. It was supposed to be a simple shortcut, a way to save time, but we see this dark, grimy looking face with a couple scars added to the journey, you know? Instead, it's been a pathway that's done everything to try to slow him down. He knew he might have to fight his way through, which he's done over and over again, but there was one thing he didn't prepare for, and that was to battle himself, because out of nowhere, his entire symbiote costume began to betray him. His chain started flickering all over the place, and you know what? And the more he fought it, the more it fought back, pulling away from Spawn like a pack of rabid animals thirsting to be let loose. And having returned to hell, the symbiote is reverting back to its old habits, but like any other species, it has to know who the alpha is, and Spawn's like, just because we back in your homeland, don't be trying me like I'm some kind of sample, alright? I'm your freaking master. So the costume obeys, and it doesn't try him no more. Well, at least for now, that is. But from here on out, Spawn's attention will be compromised, split between traversing the Forbidden Lands and keeping his own persona in check. And though being a Hellspawn means they don't require much sleep, the constant barrage of threats while dragging a 50-ton carcass over the countless miles has taken its toll on Spawn. And I was referring to the last issue when he threw that carcass and he feasted because, you know, he hungry like that. So Spawn liked to stop to rest just for a minute, but he can't. Hell won't let him. That's his obstacle right there. It matters not that if Spawn can't get to Hell's throne before one of his enemies can, then this entire realm is at risk of extinction. So there's only one law it obeys. None shall pass these lands, none shall survive. It drags Spawn into the ground, and that law that it has, where no one shall pass, well, it intends to enforce it. And if the soil itself must drown and devour Hell's only possible savior, that's exactly what it'll do. Like cancer, it's willing to kill its host, even if it means it will die too. That's a sick and twisted legacy of certain parts of Hell, where its overriding need to destroy supersedes all else. So it has no qualm killing Spawn. if it can. Unless the thing it wants to kill, you know Spawn's gonna fight, but come on now. Spawn's like, y'all better stop trying me like some kind of Costco sample on a Saturday morning. I don't play that stuff. So Spawn finally realizes why he's been attacked so many times. It's not that they keep finding him, it was because he be leading them to himself. His eyes have become a beacon for them to follow. So if light is the enemy of darkness, then remove the enemy. Show them you embrace navigating in darkness. And Spawn does it like a top G. So for the next few days, Spawn's frustration grows as he begins to doubt if he's actually walking in the right direction. He should have come to its end by now. But it's the pace of his strides that's frustrating him most. He's begun to slow down, even though he's been followed once again by these insects. And you know they're trying to try Spawn, but guess what? And this demon dog is like, yeah, you know me, I'm trying to sample you too, like you some kind of Costco sample on a Saturday morning. So while curiously the insects behind him have yet to make their move, well, all that's about to change. So dark forces aren't exclusive to this realm. Many other factions have waited centuries for a savior to come, and these bugs obey Spawn's command. And that is because someone is willing to stand up to the ruling power there. Someone willing to show them that their fates are not inevitable. Though the hound needs to feed, so too do the creatures who have been oppressed for so long, because this savior must pass, and they want Spawn to get that throne. The quest of their lord must continue. He can't fail, not now. He's gone too far, and there's still too much at stake. Regardless of who or what may want him stopped, he braces as the sound of flapping wings grow louder. These bats go in. So shrieks echo across the morbid landscapes, perhaps alerting others to the Hellspawn's position. Their internal radar is guiding them as they ascend upon their target. The bats try blocking his path at first. He resists fighting against his presumed attackers as they pull and claw at him. They didn't come to attack him. No, they came trying to save him, and they throw him off his ledge of the cliff. He descends down nearly a quarter mile, slamming against the cliffside dozens of times until finally, well, he lands and he impacts. He's like, all right, man, you guys better stop trying me like I'm some kind of sample, all right? Because I'm getting tired of this stuff. I want some food and I'm hungry. And speaking of hunger, his appetite's about to be fulfilled because Wanda is approaching him. She kneels down and tells Spawn to rest well. You've earned your moment of peace, sweetheart. It's now my turn to help. She gives him a kiss on the forehead, giving him an extra bounce of life or whatever. So each of them weighs in excess of 600 pounds. And yet, like a mother with her baby, like a newborn baby, Wanda effortlessly lifts Spawn, walking in the same direction her ex-husband has been heading. She won't leave him there. This can't be his final resting place. There's still too much good for him to accomplish. Still, so many people that need his help. He can't abandon them. So she walks hours after hours, day after day. In time though, having tested her own limits, even she must rest. She fights the urge to close her eyes, thinking they'll be exposed, thinking they'll be easy targets. If she gives into her own needs, she would have failed her own mission. Who will protect them if she sleeps? I'll tell you who will protect her. Yeah, look at him, our boy Spawn, looking around like I wish somebody would try me like I'm some kind of sample. And that is the end of Spawn versus Hell's obstacle for the throne. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other Rated Comic exclusives, limited print exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. So previously on King Spawn, with Wanda's appearance, Spawn starts to doubt his mission. So is it her, is it a trick, or maybe it's just him not thinking straight? And Spawn even believes that Wanda's not even real. No way. And if she is, well, she's made her choice. So removing the symbols of vows, for better or for worse, well, I'm going at it alone, says Spawn. But Spawn starts to think maybe those bastards are using her to slow Spawn's down. But he can't allow that to happen. Something's happening with him though. He feels it. He stretches and his whole body aches. And what Spawn's doing is he's cracking his back and stretching himself because all that butt whipping he did in the previous issue, yeah, that got a brother worked up and he's got to stretch all that out of him. So they're messing with his body and mind, hoping that he'll turn back. But that means nothing to him. That means they're afraid. Afraid what Spawn can still do to them. But he needs to focus. Don't think of Wanda. That's what they want him to do. Who cares how you met her or what your friends thought? Don't go there, Spawn. Well, he goes down memory lane and damn it, he can't get out of it. Get out of my head, says Spawn. They're using him and they're using her. So I won't get to that throne. That's their goal, to stall him. So Wanda wakes up and she calls Spawn by his name. Ow. I'm sorry I shouldn't have slept, but I'm awake now. And Spawn's like, nah, bruh, you can't be real. Oh, but I am. Have you ever felt a woman's touch like mine? Spawn's like, oh my god, man, how'd you even get here? He completely changes his demeanor. It doesn't matter. I'm here with you, says Wanda. The question is, what are you doing here? I have to do something, says Spawn. I have to complete a mission. There's so much at risk. Someone else can do it, says Wanda. Oh no, there isn't anyone else. Not with enough power to do what I'm about to do, so step aside. And Wanda's like, alright bruh, so you made up your mind, huh? I don't have a choice. Then let's go, says Wanda. Let's go complete your mission. I'm your good wife right now. So Wanda, says Spawn, can I tell you something? Tell me the real reason I'm here. Well, that's why I came, my love, says Wanda, to help lessen your burden. So please, tell me everything. And Spawn's like, all right, well, you asked for it. The clown, it starts with him. He began with it all. He was never much of a threat, not in his human clown 3-foot tall form. And that pissed him off because he always thought he was better than everyone else, including me. And so Wanda's like, is he? No, he ain't better at all, but I managed that. At least I thought I did. But I didn't. Do you remember him, says Spawn. And Wanda's like, no, but should I? Oh, he's the one that killed you. And you know why? That's to get my attention. He did it to get my attention. That's it. You meant nothing to him but collateral that he can use to get to me. And if you didn't work, he would have used something else because he became obsessed with taking over hell. And somewhere along the way, he separated himself from the Violator and built an army. And why did he do that? Because he's been craving that throne for centuries and my symbiote. He wants to be the Hellspawn, and it's sick of him that Malboja, before Spawn murdered him in Spawn issue number 100, that it made him mad that Malboja would let humans wear the symbiote instead of the Violator. So Wanda's like, okay, but what did that have to do with me? Everything, says Spawn. If he could take you, he thought he could take my costume and my powers. So Wanda's like, so my children don't have a mother because some bastard wanted to get to you? Well, he didn't care that you had kids. That was irrelevant. So you're battling the soulless, says Wanda. And Spawn's like, yeah, they take pride in that label because emotions are for the weak in their eyes. Sadly, you're not the only one that they've killed. It's gonna get worse. Well, Wanda's like, you have to protect all of us, right? Oh, that's what I'm trying to do, says Spawn. Then why are you here, says Wanda. You have a destiny and it belongs on Earth, not amongst these monsters. They want you here? It's why they're preying on your emotions. And Spawn's like, no, I'm here because Clown isn't the only one who wants to take over the throne of hell. Cagliostro is gonna get there first, and if he does, we're all done for. Whoever sits on Hell's throne, their powers multiply. What do you think he'll do to those powers? He'll wipe out everything and everyone, not just Cyan, Kate, and Jake. He'll murder everyone's children. And since he helped create my costume, he'll kill me too, and I won't be able to stop that. So that's what I'm here for. So Wanda's like, so if you're here, who's protecting Earth? Oh, I got others I trust. And Wanda's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter how much you trust them, they're not you. Don't you get that? The world needs you. And Spawn's like, yo, if I go back, who stops Sin and Clown? There won't be anything to go back to if they win. And Wanda's like, well, can you beat him? Well, that's the plan. And they want the smoke, they gonna get the smoke. So Wanda's like, okay, well, I'm gonna help you give him that smoke, all right? So as they walk, Al has to ask Wanda something. And he asks her, do you love me? Of course, but not the same way you love me. That time has passed. You need to let that go. I can't, says Al. Oh, but you must. The longer you hold on to our past, the more your enemies will use that. You know this already. You can't keep torturing yourself thinking we'll ever be together ever again. But I thought maybe, says Spawn. No. Nah, says Wanda, don't be going down that road. Whatever you're thinking is a delusion. We had our time, but we're both meant to fulfill different missions. Your life is to protect my children, not me, and every other thing you hold dear on Earth. I know you better than you know yourself, Al, and I don't have a second of doubt you can figure all this out, but not if you're holding on to the past. I beg you, Al, don't let that interfere with your thinking. And Spawn's like, yo, man, there's no other way. Wanda's like, nah, bruh, there's always another way. You were trained to find solutions. Use those skills now. And they want you to think you're a monster just like them. Don't give him that. Don't give him that satisfaction. And Spawn's like overlooking the stone like, so what am I supposed to do? Let one of them have the throne? Let them build their power so they can come to Earth and dominate us? I won't let that happen. There's only one way to stop them. And Wanda's like, nah. You can't do what you're thinking of doing. Oh yeah, says Spawn. I'm gonna have to sit on that throne. It'll corrupt you, says Wanda. You sit on that throne, you'll never be the same again. And I think this is a reference to Spawn issue number 175 when Mammon prophesies what Spawn will do. Check out that issue if you haven't. I'm not going to say any more about it. And Spawn's like, well look, I killed Malbosia. I started this. It's why the throne's empty. If I don't take it, it's Earth that won't be the same again. And Wanda's like, if you do, we'll never see each other again. So the next 20 hours they walk in silence. Al is tortured. Finally, he's with the woman he loves, but he can't stay with her. We're going back to the roots of Spawn issue number 1. Now we're back in King Spawn and over 30 years later in this. And as they reach the water's edge, he also realizes she's became a goddess herself, no longer human, and she looking fine, and Spawn's like, damn, she got some cake too. But regardless, Wanda turns around and tells him, you want out of this realm? We can do that. I'll get you to the throne. After that, you're on your own, and may God help you. And Spawn's like, nah, God abandoned me long ago. Well, I hope you won't do the same to me. This is it. This is where we leave this darkened place. They hold hands, go into the portal, and Wanda tells him, and if this is to be our last act, at least it will be together. So now this is the end of King Spawn issue number 30, as we will conclude this issue and this story of this whole arc of who's going to take over the throne and rule. That's going to be concluded in Spawn issue number 350, which we will cover on this channel. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also, link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. Lastly, this review is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to RatedComics YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.